they're treating me like shit. And your point is, kid, we've got to break this to you. You're going to get treated like shit. And you can't be indignant about it. You can't even change expression. You will be treated poorly. Not only by psychopaths, you will be treated poorly by good people. Because that's what people do. They treat you like shit. And then they watch you. And nobody gets what they deserve. Everybody gets what they negotiate. And that's it. You can't have a temper tantrum. You can't bang on your high chair. You can't say, but that's not fair. No, it's not fair. Nobody ever said it was going to be fair. Where have you heard that before? But we still expect that it's supposed to be fair. And some of us, frankly, are hopeless. We come to that point, that sticking point, over and over and over, and we say, but, and we can't, like Grimm's Little Tailor, we can't smile and assume it's all going to work out for our good. The Little Tailor didn't take shit. The Little Tailor figured it out. But he didn't let them see what he was going to do in advance. He didn't have lots of conversations other than with himself. He didn't explain things. He didn't always know himself what he was going to do. But he, like Harry, when Harry drank the potion, the Felix Felicis potion, knew what to do. He just always knew what to do, and he trusted himself absolutely to know what to do. And you can trust yourself as long as you don't melt down
in 1.25 miles,
and have a temper
take the exit
tantrum.
on the
If
right
you just
towards
stay
Pennsylvania 441,
where you need
then
to
take the
stay
first right.
and not look like you're gonna pout and frown and cry, then you'll be okay. You just have to get through it. You have to believe that you can do it, and that part of you that's indignant, that part of you that can't accept unfairness, that part of you needs to be sacrificed on the altar of the Little Tailor. Once and for all. Have a little funeral for him. That little justice warrior. That little pouty justice warrior. We don't give a shit about justice. We want to win. Do no harm.
In 1/4 mile, exit right.
And do not allow the shit givers to give you shit
Take the exit
by
on the right
falling
toward
right into their
Pennsylvania
hands
441, then take
and
the first
doing
right.
what they expect you to do. Don't do what they expect you to do. Do what the Little Tailor would do, which is not even what he would have expected to do. And in the end,
Turn right at the
you
stop
will
sign,
find
then
what
take
you
the
need to
third
find
right.
to go forward as a winner. Someone who
Turn
hasn't done harm, but also someone who hasn't given in to the shit. Because, make no mistake, they will try to give you shit, and you're not going to reason your way out of it. No reasonable argument will get them to stop exploiting you. You will find that everybody just does what they think is best for themselves.
Turn right at
Has
the traffic
nothing to
light,
do
then take the third
with
left.
what's fair or what you think they ought to do.
In 0.1
So instead of
miles,
using
turn
your
left.
most reasonable arguments, like you did with the school boards, when you tried to explain to the school boards in Oregon why, and in Pennsylvania, why they should include the arts in education, especially music. And you made the reasonable arguments, and they nodded their heads, and they smiled like the Little Tailor, And then they went ahead and did whatever the fuck they wanted. And that's what everyone will do. You can't expect anybody to give you anything. You've got to be shrewd and clever, like the Little Tailor. Charming, cunning, but you have to figure it out. And then when that wimpy little justice warrior rears his puny head, you say, hey, we're not doing it that way again. We've done it that way forever, and we're just done with it. It just doesn't work.
Turn left.
It doesn't fucking work. Why do you want to keep doing? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And we've been that kind of insane for a long time. We don't want to be insane anymore. We want to figure out the way that works.
Turn left.
Got a heavy load. The only way to get through this intersection is to keep calm and don't miss any shifts.
In 4¼ miles, turn right on River Road.
Crass, right? Confident, relaxed, assured, strong, and steady. You should go back and watch that little, whatever that was, diatribe, and look at all the beautiful scenery. Now you can hear the jig brake. I don't usually come down this hill with a load this big. Anyway, the Little Tailor is the model that we're trying to follow, because he was a good person. He did no harm other than to giants and other people who were nemesis. But he took no shit. But he didn't do what people expected him to do. He didn't try to reason with people. He made sure that they had to do it in the way that he thought they needed to do it. And he took responsibility for knowing the best way. And it wasn't just for himself, although he, like Ayn Rand would advise him, he did what was best for himself. Planes, trains, and automobiles, and big trucks. I can't count how many times in my life I've gotten my ass handed to me because I insisted on reasoning with people and lecturing them and telling them why they should change what they were doing, but with no power, like Frederick Douglass would say, to make the demand. All I could do was sound reasonable. I had no oomph behind it. I had no demand. And that ain't it, kid. That ain't it, kid. You're not gonna get there that way. You have to be able to insist. Walk softly and carry a big stick. In relationships, that big stick isn't always leaving. The Little Tailor became king, in effect. He made a deal with the king for, I think, half his kingdom or something, the normal deal, because I think it was because he slayed giants. And also, the king's daughter was part of the bargain. And so the king's daughter kind of was like Samson's Delilah. She was not on his team. And yet he didn't have her head chopped off. He figured out how to make it work. He wasn't expecting that she would reasonably comply with anything he wanted. But he was the king. So he made it work. And I wonder about relationships where people have no power, but they just make their reasonable arguments. I think you must wield power in a relationship. You don't want to talk about it all the time, but it's necessary. I was going to say it's a necessary evil, but I don't know that it's always evil. Just certain people don't like confrontation or using leverage without confrontation. A lot of evil people use leverage. You've been leveraged, I'm sure, by people with an agenda to exploit you. If you completely separated yourself from all the people who would exploit you, you're going to have to figure out how to do everything for yourself. You'll have to go off the grid, you'll have to buy a piece of land, you'll have to figure out how to earn that money without help from anybody. You have to pay your taxes with money, so somehow or other you're going to have to interact with other people. You can't do it without power. So whether you're a good person or a bad person, a good faith actor or not, you have to figure out how to wield power and make that demand. And then do your damnedest to be good. But what good is it going to do you if you're good and you have no leverage? Your plans will come to nothing. Sometimes you have to bide your time. When the other person, for the moment, has the upper hand in terms of power, you have to bide your time until you can figure out how to turn the tables. With a smile on your face, not a complainy, whiny bitch that they're happier off without. In the end, they'll be sorry to lose you, because you'll show that you're valuable, because valuable people know how to wield power. Attractive people who don't have power don't get shit. And unattractive people who know how to wield power get pretty much what they want, regardless of their lack of attractiveness. You have to know how to do this. But I don't want to. And I don't blame you. I don't want to either.
In 1/2 mile, turn right on River Road.
But you might have to bide your time and bite your tongue and smile and be charming and not always know what your plan is. But like the Little Tailor, expect that something will appear at the right moment and you'll take inspired action, not whiny little pouty bitch action.
2.5 miles and turn right.
Turn right on River Road.
This is a big load. Do you wish we were going to keep along with the train? We won't be far from the train. But we won't be able to see it. Alright, I'll leave you here in just a minute after we see the windmills. noticed, I stopped one day and went back here to this Heritage Center, and it wasn't open, but I peeked in the windows and I could see that there was some history about the Blue Rock community. And Blue Rock Road comes out right up here. That's it, under the sycamore tree there. And then here's the bridge. I saw the bridge from over here on the right. I stood and looked back at the bridge. The bridge is a very old looking stone bridge. It doesn't look so old from up here with all the guardrails, but I can see why they wanted to put it back after they brought the windmills up. I can understand the heritage. And I will tell you more in future episodes about this little place right over here. I guess that's where it all happened, with Blue Rock. I don't know what the Blue Rock is, if there is still a Blue Rock, but that's what it is right there. Here's where you buy your vegetables, and we just passed the flower place. Then we go up the hill and down the hill, and up the hill and down the hill. That's an inside joke. Up the hill and down the hill, and up the hill and down the hill, until we come to Mr. Wibble's house. And Mr. Wibble said, "Let's look at the windmills, Mr. Wobble, and let's see if they're spinning." The corn is as high as an elephant's eye. That's all sweet corn there. That looks delicious. What do you see? We've got two spinning, medium speed, medium slow, andante.
In 3/4 of a mile, arrive at home, on the right.
I'll be going slowly up this hill.